Thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Jean Smith. I'm the training coordinator here at the University of Houston-Victoria Small Business Development Center. We are recording today's presentation, and if you need closed captions, feel free to turn those on. We're here to talk about Small Business Saturday. But before we get started with our program, I'm going to run through a couple of things that will give you some tips, make your session run smoothly for you, and help you get the most out of our time here today. So with that, let's go on to our next slide. So we are the Small Business Development Center. We are housed here at the University of Houston-Victoria in Victoria, Texas. And we are a business advising and training center, and we serve 11 counties within South Texas. We are a resource partner with the Small Business Administration, and we are funded in part by that Small Business Administration and the state of Texas. Now, throughout Texas, SBDCs are funded much like we are. So as you can see from this chart, our network center is located at UTSA, and we have 10 field centers. So we provide coverage for small business services to 79 counties in our region. Now, our network is shown here in the blue. We run from El Paso all the way to the Gulf Coast, and it's a big area. But if you are in Texas or even anywhere in the U.S., you're never far from small business assistance. So if you're not within our network, you can go to www.americassbdc.org and find an SBDC to provide you with no-cost business advising and training services. Now, that area you see in red, those are the counties that our center covers. And as you can tell, we cover from the Gulf all the way to Gonzales, out to Carnes, and all the areas in between. When I send through an email with a link to our recording and our slide deck to you tomorrow, I will have a link in there where you can sign up to be a client, or you can find your closest SBDC. But don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have questions. And truthfully, if you are operating a small business, we highly recommend you take advantage of our resources. And we'll just flip to the next slide and show you those. Now, I do want to note, like I said, our services are no cost, confidential, and they're client driven. There's no hoops for you to jump through. So from startup to expansion to transition, our business advisors are available for the life cycle of your business. Business advisors, though, do not provide legal or tax advice. And don't confuse us with the Small Business Administration. We are resource partners, but we are not the SBA, and we don't have access to SBA-related records. So, as I've said, we provide one-on-one advising services. You can see some of those listed on the screen. There are many services that we provide in addition to what you're seeing. Our clients also have access to resources from our specialty resource centers located at UTSA, and they help our clients thrive and grow. So don't be afraid to sign up when you need those specialty resource assistance. In addition, we provide no-cost and low-cost business training, just like we're having here today. And we want to tell you about a few upcoming events. Of course, I slipped over the slide. Okay, so on November 8th, we are having a live event here at our center, SBA Resources for Veterans. We have the SBA District Office will be here. In addition, a variety of SBA resource partners will be here. And it's all about resources for veterans. So if you're a veteran, you're looking to start a business, or you are in business and you're working on growing it, this is a great event. It's on November 8th. It starts at 10 o'clock. Then on November 9th at 10 o'clock, we're going to have Come and Make It with Kelly Masters from Homemade Texas. If you didn't know, over 50% of businesses start within the home. And this is going to talk about the cottage food law that we have here in Texas and how to be successful in having that business right from your home. Then on November 14th and 16th, we have Rita McDaniel from Plemons CPA, and she's providing QuickBooks Online for us. There is a charge for this course. There's also a charge for Come and Make It. We try to make these as inexpensive as we can, but there is, a speaker fee that we do need to pay for. Now, if you're managing that business and you need help with your accounting, and you've just purchased QuickBooks, or maybe you want to use it better, that's what that class is for. So these are opportunities for you. You can see our other ones. We have lots of trainings scheduled this week. Next week, we have our Women Entrepreneur event in November. It's going to be very busy here, but you can go to www.uhvsbdc.com and see everything that we offer. Now, let me introduce you to our presenter. You've been seeing her on her video. This is Lindsay Young. She is the director here at the UHV Small Business Development Center. She holds her bachelor's degree from A&M, and she has a master's in business administration with a concentration in management right here from UHV. Lindsay has been with the Small Business Development Center for over 11 years. And wow, it's hard to remember when you started. But she came to us with experience in banking, risk management, money management, and fraud. And so Lindsay is who I go to when I have a question about something that just doesn't seem quite right. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Lindsay.
Great. Thank you all. We appreciate you sticking with some of our technical issues here. We have a new version of Teams that we are trying to walk through. Let's see, for now, I'm going to turn off my camera. I'd like to direct you to the Q&A section where we have a pinned question for your participation. Also, if you have any questions as we go through the presentation, please feel free to drop them in there. I'm going to do my best to try and review them as we go so your questions are timely and relevant. Also use the chat if you'd like. Jean is going to drop some information into the chat about our center and some upcoming webinars that you might be interested in with links and good things like that. I would also like to tell you that everything that you see here today, you will be sent by email a copy of the entire slide deck. Towards the end of the slide deck, instead of links, since you're getting it by email, there are QR codes that will direct you to all the links that we're going to talk about today. But again, if you have any questions, just reach out to us or feel free to use the Q&A throughout the presentation. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I am going to launch a few polls for you just to get an idea of who's on the line today, what kind of business you are, what your intentions are with Small Business Saturday. And while we do that, I will play a video for you to listen in on. And let me get those polls going. So there's 3 basic polls here that are live. If you'll go ahead and fill those out, we will get a good idea of our group here with us. Oh, goodness. All right. So I will let that run. Is everybody able to see all the polls in the chat? Okay, I'll keep that live. Please let us know if you're not seeing that. Jean, are you able to see it?
I can see it for our attendees. Just on the meeting chat, go in there, do the view poll, and you can.
Oh, good. Larissa said yes, so we should be good. One of our new features we're trying out. All right, so let's get to that video. And, you know, guys, today I'm not probably going to tell you anything that is going to be earth-shattering information, that is going to be something you've never heard before in the world of marketing your small business. But really the intention is to get that those creative juices flowing about how to connect with your customers, invite customers to shop with you, and really be a part of the social event that is Small Business Saturday. Hi, Bridget. Thanks for joining us today. I will ask if you don't mind to turn off your camera just so we can have the most bandwidth possible on today's meeting. And with that, we will get started with our video. Okay, hopefully everybody had the sound going on that. It was something we tried this morning again with our new team. So if you weren't able to hear it, I'll be happy to forward you the link to that. But really, it's just an overview of what Small Business Saturday is. So I want to jump into the reason why we are all here today and why Small Business Saturday is a thing. So you may not realize, but every time you say pick up that cup of coffee or you shop at that local boutique, you are making a difference locally in your local community and your local economy. And if you think about your local Main Street and really take a moment to consider the businesses that are there, you're going to see chains, you're going to see those little boutiques that we talked about. But what you don't maybe consider is that those chains are actually small business owned. So here locally, we have chains like Great Clips or McDonald's that are privately owned and considered small businesses. And for the 2022 rate, almost 100% of all businesses in the US are in fact small businesses. So that really puts into perspective the need for something like Small Business Saturday and even the need for something like the SBDC, because the majority of businesses are in fact small. Additionally, I want to drop in a statistic from American Express that for every dollar spent at a small business, an average of about 67% stays in that local community. That is a big number. That is a majority of your dollar that is staying within the community that you're shopping in. And so what we're doing is creating a better local economy. And real quick, I'm going to take a look at our poll here. I'm going to go ahead and close it. Hopefully everybody has responded. All right, so some people interested in Small Business Saturday, some not, some aren't really sure what Small Business Saturday is. Mostly service-based businesses, very good. And we're still on the fence about what Small Business Saturday is and if we're going to participate, but at least we don't have any heck no's in there. So that is a plus. So hopefully after today, you'll feel a little more comfortable about Small Business Saturday, which for short is SBS, and you will see the value in participating in that. So Small Business Saturday came about in 2010. And there was a need. There was a need to highlight small businesses, being that the majority of them are in our communities. They make up the total population of small businesses in America. So there was room at the table, so to speak, for small business to have their big special day, similar to Black Friday or Cyber Monday or some of the other days that have popped up in the past 10 or so years. So I call this Black Friday's little sister. And the first 2 years out of the gate, you can see that this date in particular pulled about $5.5 billion in consumer spending. That is a big number in a matter of 2 years. So if we fast forward to more recent times, that $5.5 billion has quadrupled to $23 billion just in 10 years. So this has identified an actual need to highlight these small businesses, and that people they're really taking to the idea of Small Business Saturday and understand the significance in it, and supporting your local businesses. So it's a big shopping day that I feel like doesn't get as much love as some of the other commercialized days. And so it's really up to you and I to promote this in our community and make it an event. And you're going to hear me say an event, a social event. That's what Small Business Saturday truly is. It is an event to draw in consumers to your small business location. And later in the presentation, we will go over and highlight a few businesses that we have seen, whether it be online or in person, who have really captured the essence, if you will, of Small Business Saturday. So important dates, here we go. Small Business Saturday always falls in between Black Friday and Cyber Monday. It's always going to be the Saturday after Black Friday. Black Friday traditionally focuses on big box retailers. Cyber Monday is oriented towards businesses that have online shopping or online sales, where Small Business Saturday really provides that dedicated day to highlight and support small business owners in our local communities. The next couple slides, I have highlighted and come up with different opportunities or different benefits that as a business owner or a manager, you might see in participating in Small Business Saturday. So really, it's the perfect opportunity, the perfect chance to build a list of loyal customers. I'm going to go through a few of these. I'm not going to hit all of them, but I'm going to start with increased visibility, that second line item. It can really amplify your business's presence during the most competitive holiday shopping season that we have in the year. The widespread promotion surrounding the day can help draw attention to your business that might otherwise be overshadowed by those large retailers. Support from the community. Small Business Saturday really fosters a sense of community and encourages customers to choose those local small businesses and visit those local small businesses. And this can lead to increased customer loyalty, long-term relationships, meeting your community members that you may have not met otherwise. And it's a way to invite people to visit you, to come see what you have in your establishment. You're going to have access to promotional materials. American Express and other partners with Small Business Saturday often provide free marketing material, and we'll go over several that Amex provides that are both physical and digital. So those participating businesses in the event, you're going to get marketing pieces that you would otherwise have to pay for. And this really reduces on your marketing costs to highlight one of the biggest shopping days that you have, which increases your ROI or your return on investment. You're going to have networking opportunities. The day often sees local chambers of commerce, business associations, and other community groups that will promote you or come visit you during this Saturday. Participating in the event can provide opportunities for you to collaborate and share resources with businesses like yourself or with your neighbors, or if you're in a shopping center, we have seen businesses join forces, if you will, and make it an all-day event for families. The economic impact is truly probably the most notable thing that we're seeing from Small Business Saturday. That money is staying in the community. By driving sales on this day, business owners are not only boosting their own bottom lines, but they're contributing to the local economy to make it stronger. They're contributing to that sense of community to make it stronger if you are having, say, an event, an all-day event or anything like that. But then you're also benefiting from each other. You are supporting each other, like businesses, your neighbors, your shopping center that you might be in. And so the community at large sees a great impact from something like Small Business Saturday. So the benefits for the shoppers. Black Friday, if you have never participated in it, if you have never woken up at the crack of dawn, it is crazy. It is frantic. Cyber Monday is a little less frantic because you can sit behind your computer and take your time. However, if you're like me, you've had to refresh the page several times in order to even get to the product that you're looking for, or to refresh your shopping cart, because on Cyber Monday, those online businesses are loaded down with shoppers. And so you're seeing hangups in different ways between Black Friday and Cyber Monday. With Small Business Saturday, it's considered a more relaxed environment just because of the size of it. The size of the event usually is smaller for those businesses. Let's see, you can showcase all of the products that you have. A lot of our food vendors, our food service vendors or businesses, it is a way for them to get their product in the hands of the consumer through little tasters, through samples. You're inviting people to come see you, so you're able to showcase what it is that you do. And also, this isn't just for retail businesses. I know in our survey we had 100% participants choose retail, or I'm sorry, choose others. Was it retail? I'm sorry, it was other service. So let me back up a little bit. Small Business Saturday oftentimes is associated with retail only, with shopping a product. But with service-based businesses, you can take part in Small Business Saturday just the same as a retail business. It's just going to look a little different. And so we'll talk about some of those things that you can perhaps showcase, because you're not going to be showcasing, say, a jar of jelly or a t-shirt. You're going to be showcasing a service and inviting the community to your place of business to take part in your service. Economics, obviously, it keeps the money in the community, and it's a feel-good day. It's a way to support the small businesses that are keeping your community going. I'm going to check the chat real quick, make sure we don't have any questions that need to be hit. All right. And please feel free to drop questions in that Q&A section, and we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, so the slide that you see now is direct from American Express. If you go to the American Express site for Small Business Saturday, you are going to see so many links and so many buttons in order to download your marketing material or to see who's participating in Small Business Saturday. This link is at the bottom of this slide, but then it's also going to be at the end in the form of a QR code. All right, so American Express has something called Shop Small Studio Create. And this, I'm going to call it a platform for lack of a better word. It provides templates for you to edit and make your own to stand out for Small Business Saturday. So they are going to be branded with American Express. They're going to be branded with Shop Small, but then you can also make them your own. And it's really a way to highlight to your customers that you are participating in the event and you're going to have a reason to shop on this Saturday, and it's a way to invite them in and start the buzz now. So with Small Business Saturday being a month away, we really should be marketing that we are participating yesterday. It's never too early to market that you're participating in Small Business Saturday. If you have not started and it's something that you feel like you're going to participate in, I encourage you to go ahead and check out the Amex site, download all of the marketing materials and get started on that, because it is truly a social event. And so you have to build the buzz around what it is that you're going to be doing. The Shop Small Studio is where you're going to find all of the marketing materials. And it's really designed to help encourage your community to support you and other small businesses on this particular Saturday, but then also beyond. Again, they're customizable, which is just great. So you're going to see posters, you're going to see social media graphics. And by social media graphics, I mean Facebook cover photos that are already detailed with the specific size that you need. You're going to see Instagram graphics. You're going to see so much stuff that you can make your own, and it really saves you time and money in designing it yourself. So here are a couple of examples that we pulled from that particular studio. And I know I've said it a few times already. I'm going to say it again, that this is a social event. You're going to want to post your participation, buzz the participation, talk about all the things that you're going to be doing to make this a shopping experience for your customers. And the way to do that is through social media. So you're wanting to create this buzz before the event. You're wanting to continue the buzz during event, and you're wanting to make sure that after the event, you are still in the front of the mind of your consumer. And there's several ways to do that other than social media. Of course, social media is kind of the step one whenever you're creating a quote social event. But we'll talk about a couple other ways to engage with your customer, especially after the event. So I want to highlight some hashtags. Hashtags, if you're not familiar in the world of social media, it is a way to kind of compartmentalize, if you will, certain topics, and it makes those topics searchable. So hashtag Small Business Saturday is like going into Google and typing Small Business Saturday and seeing all of the things that have ever existed in social media in a post or in a comment about Small Business Saturday. So a hashtag is going to track all of that participation. So I looked this morning, and the hashtag Small Business Saturday for posts alone, and this is for Facebook only. This is not Instagram. This is not Twitter, or I guess they call it X now. This is not TikTok. This is only Facebook. The hashtag Small Business Saturday has 2 million posts about it. So this is not reciprocal engagement. This is purely just posts. Small Biz Saturday has 71,000 posts, and the hashtag Shop Local has 47 million posts. So that is a lot of traction that is being generated through what I call the pound sign, which shows my age, and a word. But it's a very worthwhile thing to include in your social media. All right, so thinking about the Small Business Saturday shopper, the typical shopper, the 6 bullet points on your screen outline what Amex has designated, if you will, the typical Small Business Saturday shopper. I am going to open this up to the chat for what generation this sounds like to you. We have our silent generation, which is 1925 to about 45, our baby boomer generation, about 46 to 64, 65. Gen X thereafter to 79, 80, depending on who you talk to. Millennials between that 80, 81 to about 94. Gen Z being your late 90s, early 2000 babies. Is there a particular generation that you feel like Small Business Saturday really hones in on according to these 6 bullet points? Any ideas? We have some typers, so I'll give them a moment. All right, we have a Gen Z. That's very close, Larissa. It's actually millennials. Millennials is who Small Business Saturday currently targets because of their buying power, the way that they buy, how they respond to traditional advertising, or I should say don't respond to traditional advertising. They're looking for a product. They are looking for peer-based brand loyalty. So they don't care if they've shopped with you forever. They're looking for what their friends have recommended or what has the most reviews. And then they have that ideology of helping the common good. And that's through small business support. And so Small Business Saturday in the past has really been it's really revolved around the shopping habits of the millennial generation. That said, Gen Z is right there, right behind the millennials with their shopping capacity and their shopping power. This year is a push and a collaboration, and it's new this year between Amex and TikTok. Because that's where Gen Z is. You want to advertise your Small Business Saturday promotions, your activities where your customer is. And what Amex is seeing is that it is starting to shift slightly, and Gen Z is starting to have a good bit of buying power in the economy. And so they are trying really hard to be sure that they are on, if you're familiar with TikTok, that they are on that generation's For You page, that it's popping up as an actual event, something that might spark interest. So keep that in mind as you are, as you're advertising for your business and your product and you're considering where your shopper is, that Gen Z is not to be forgotten. Although young, the elder, if you will, Gen Zers have a lot of buying power and they're out there. Oh, this looks awful tiny on my screen, and I'm sure it looks awful tiny on your screen. So we will hit a couple items and move on, but it should be better whenever you get your the copy of your slide deck. But these are just some planning considerations. Of course, the last one is have fun. I can't stress that enough. This is supposed to be a fun event, y'all. It's not supposed to be something that you dread doing. It's supposed to be fun and interactive. I talked earlier about a way to engage with your customer without using social media or traditional social media. And that is getting an email sign-up sheet going, collecting email addresses from your consumers, from your shoppers, in order to stay in touch with them through the holiday season and thereafter. Okay. Posting live photos or live videos, if you will, of the events as they unfold on that day is going to drive interest on the day of. But really what we have seen as an SBDC, being right across the street from a shopping center, is that if you can create an event, and you may not be able to create this with just yourself, maybe you need to create this with your neighbors. Create an all-day event that invites people, invites families out to experience an entire thing. So the shopping center across the street from us, they will have face painting, they will have food trucks, they have balloons and tents, and it's a whole day, it's a whole thing. And yes, it's for Small Business Saturday, but they really promote it as a community shopping event. Okay. And it's not just one person. There are 10, 12 different businesses in the shopping center who all pile together to drive interest and shoppers and traffic, not to them individually, but to their collective location. Other planning considerations to keep in mind, and again, this is not going to maybe apply to everybody, okay? You might pick and choose a couple here that you want to do. And I say it's not going to apply to everybody, and I specifically look at something like discounts. Discounts is something you have to be really careful of as a business owner, that you don't discount yourself out of business, so to speak. Offering that 10% off can sound like not a lot, but once you extrapolate that and multiply, it ends up being quite a bit of money. So you really have to know your financial position before you start offering discounts across the board. Another thing that I want to draw your attention to is creating content. This is kind of, I don't want to call it new, but I'm going to say newer. With the launch of TikTok, you're going to see unboxing videos, which the first time I saw an unboxing video, I thought it was the strangest thing ever, that people were interested in watching others unwrap and untape a box that has product inside. But what small business owners are doing is making that unboxing an experience. And so you will see, if you're familiar with TikTok, or even I see it on Facebook, you will see that when somebody opens a box, it's going to have a postcard, a thank you note, maybe a couple little extra things. It's going to be wrapped pretty. So it's a whole thing. It's a whole experience. Anything like that as a content creating post will drive interest. Thinking about your store the day of, or your area the day of, and I say area as if you were a consignor, is considering the ambiance there. So does it smell like the holidays? Does it feel like the holidays? Does it sound like the holidays? All of these things help get that potential shopper, quote unquote, in the mood to purchase. Okay, so you really want to build on the idea of smelling, sounding, tasting, looking like the holidays whenever you are participating in something like Small Business Saturday. Okay, creating a sense of scarcity. Scarcity is real, y'all. It really does work. This is a one-day only event. You're only going to get it one time a year, not even one time a month, one time a year. Okay, it is an exclusive shopping experience. All right, you're going to build excitement around it. Yes, we all know it's one time a year. Yes, we all know it's semi-exclusive. But if you can build excitement around the idea that it is scarce and exclusive, even though we know it is, that's just what it is. It really helps drive people to your business location, or if you're an online business, to your online store. I want to touch on something like the service industry. Yes, you're maybe not selling a product that you can touch and feel, but you can offer a lot of the same things in the way of a service. So if you are open on Saturdays, this is a day to come get your tires rotated, or to get a haircut. Maybe you have a discount for your haircut. But really what we have seen here is that our service-based businesses tend to leverage Small Business Saturday in the way of creating a fun event. So you're inviting people to come and see your location. They may not be buying anything that day, but you are creating an environment, okay? You may not typically be open on Saturday. This is a day you probably want to be open if you are wanting to drive traffic and hop on the train that is Small Business Saturday. All right, so sticking with service-based businesses, here are some ways that you can participate, even though you are not having that that touch it, feel it purchase, maybe that T-shirt or that little knickknack for Christmas or for gift giving. You're you're selling something you can't necessarily touch, okay? You're selling your service, and a way to do that on Small Business Saturdays through gift cards. If you are in the Victoria area, and I can't speak for anywhere outside of Victoria, there is a salon and spa locally that will set up a tent outside of their location and have a drive-through gift card purchase event for Small Business Saturday. So their business type is such that normally you would walk in, you would get the gift card, there's really not a lot to it, you walk out. And since it's not a place that you want a lot of traffic inside because of the pure sound that comes from traffic, they set up outside and they participate in things like Small Business Saturday or Black Friday or Cyber Monday because they have figured out a way to appeal and still participate in that shopping experience. And that is having a drive-through gift card purchasing extravaganza. Okay, they may have a photo booth there. So if you drive through with your kids, they hop out, they take a picture, it's a whole thing. And in doing something like that, you're asking people to post that they've been at your business location. Maybe you're asking them to post with a hashtag. The thing with Small Business Saturday and it being a social event, tell people what you want them to do. And whatever it is that you want them to do, you got to get them started. You got to kick it off. So if you want them to post that they are at your business location and they bought your gift cards, or you want to use a particular hashtag, you have to create an environment where it makes sense to do that. And so in that situation or that example, maybe you would have a photo booth. Maybe you would have some silly little props or some posters actually telling people what you want them to do. Okay, and it sounds silly, but it works. Your consumer needs to be told what it is that you want them to do to help promote what it is that they are selling. Any questions before we continue? All right. I'll be watching that Q&A and chat if anybody has questions. Okay, so collaboration opportunities. We have talked about this a lot, how it is a group idea, especially if you are in a shopping center or a particular neighborhood. It is a way to create a sense of family or a sense of gathering during the holiday shopping experience. And really, it promotes you better than just promoting yourself. You know, two heads are better than one, three heads are better than two. It works in this situation. It's the same idea because you are sharing on your social media, your neighbor's business, they're sharing your stuff. It's really exponential whenever you start partnering with businesses, and they could be like businesses, they could be a competitor of yours. I know Gasp and Hold the Pearls, but they could be a competitor that you are trying to create some traffic with. It could be somebody in the shop down the street from you, okay? Creating a sense of community through this event is what is going to make it it's what's going to make it more powerful for you and your neighbor. And I talked about things like face painting, food trucks, anything to get the people out. That's what you want to do. It's supposed to be a fun day, not daunting like I think of Black Friday being. It's supposed to be fun. All right, haven't seen any questions come through, so we will chug along. The next few slides that we have for you today are some ideas. I started this presentation out talking about how this is meant to kind of get those creative juices flowing. It is meant to spark idea with you. It is meant to think outside of the box, all right? So one of the things, and we've been at this since it started. I think it started in 2010. I think the first year that as an SBDC, we participated in Small Business Saturday as a neighborhood champion was the very next year. So we've been at this for a while, and we've seen a lot of examples through our clients and locally that we have remembered, and we try to put into our presentations as ideas. And one of those things is a scavenger hunt. And y'all, some of these things are going to sound really silly, but it's a way to engage. All right. So with the scavenger hunt idea, it doesn't have to be an entire shopping center. It can be 10 businesses across a community doing this scavenger hunt. So you create a card. It could be like a bingo card even. You create a card. You are requesting that people go into ABC business and find this item, take a picture of it, or take it to the front desk and have somebody sign off on it. And then you go to the next business and you find XYZ item and you do the same thing. And what that does is it promotes traffic, which is the entire crux of something like Small Business Saturday, is to promote people to come from your business to the next, to the next, to the next, and see what all is really being offered in your community in the way of small businesses, because small businesses is what's keeping your community alive. Selfie stations. I mentioned something like this with the spa example that I just talked about, creating a selfie-worthy display. Okay, so it's intentional. It's an intentional act. It's not just a wall with some paint on it. A selfie-worthy display. And for some of us who are I'll say Gen Xers, beyond, even the elder millennials, this is a weird idea to think that you have to create this worthy display, this display that's worthy of a photo. But y'all, it is serious and it works. Having that display with the hashtags that you want people to use is critical, okay? Having a selfie display, something that is very specific, that highlights you, highlights your neighbor's shop, highlights your service, highlights your community, whatever it is. It has to be an intentional act if you want people to utilize it. Okay, so welcome stations, and I have a real life example after this. In a welcome station, we're talking about the Wi-Fi password for shoppers. We're talking about cookies or little goodies from another small business to promote them, packaged treats, popcorn machines, even signature drinks. Depending on the type of business you are, that might make sense. So again, speaking to the aesthetics, speaking to the ambiance, the whole shopping experience. This is a business in Victoria, and it is a salon. And while this is not specific to Small Business Saturday, it does not say Small Business Saturday. This is an example of a welcome station. Okay, it is an inviting area of her salon. Things can be added to it that are specific to a certain day or certain holiday, a shopping day, anything like that. And I will say that most notably, the things that she has displayed are semi-local. They are from Texas. It says they are Texas. If you are in a smaller community like ours, or even smaller, you might have only community-based products here to highlight your small business friends. So something to think about here. This could apply to Small Business Saturday as well, because it's speaking to the ambiance and the shopping experience for the consumer. All right, a night out. This idea was added to this presentation, I think, and I will take ownership of it for now, but it came from a local daycare who decided, service-based industry, right? They decided that they wanted to have a way to participate in Small Business Saturday, even though they are not typically open on Saturdays. They're not selling a product. The product is childcare. You can't touch it, feel it. So what they did was create a night out event on Small Business Saturday, where you drop off your kids at 6 and they can stay until 9 or 10. They are given pizza. They have activities. They are running around. They're having fun. You're inviting your friends to participate as well. So your kids have friends at this event. And for a nominal fee, your kids are entertained while you go have dinner, while you go shop, while you go out and check out the stores who are participating in Small Business Saturday. This is, again, not for everybody, but it is an idea. Depending on the type of business you are, this is an idea. Gift guides. This is a great thing to have during the holidays. This is a great thing to have available during Small Business Saturday, or even to promote the day ahead of time, okay? We have some little FYI bullet points on the side there. But this is, again, another idea to promote the day, and promote what it is that you have to offer during the holiday season. Service-based right here. All right, thank you cards. This, I'm going to partner with the email list. This is a way to continue engaging with the consumer after the event, okay? I know that most of us cannot write thank you cards to every single person who shops at our store. That could be a very overwhelming experience. But perhaps the people who sign up on your email list, you're able to send a little card to, whether it's virtual or it's physical like this. So again, just something to keep in mind. All right, some more ideas to consider. Again, this is not going to be a blanket thing across the board. You have to think about the kind of business you are and what you have to offer. Painting your windows, I like to draw attention to that because it is a whole aesthetic thing. When you walk up to a business and their windows are painted by a professional, it is so much fun to look at. There's so much to see. And in our community, I know there's several window painters, and I'm sure in your own individual communities, there are several as well. That's something to look into. That is a temporary, pretty low cost thing to do. And, it could double as a selfie station, depending on what's on your window. Another thing that we have talked about that I really want to pull to the top is some kind of music inside your store. And I will say that this isn't specific to Small Business Saturday. I want you to think about the last time you were in a store somewhere, a boutique or whatever, and it was silent. That's such a strange experience, to the point that it's almost uncomfortable. And so I encourage you to think about what kind of music you could play to enhance that shopping experience for the person, and maybe not make it such a quiet adventure through your store. All right, any questions up until this point? We've talked about some ideas. Going live on social media is a great way to drive instant traffic. Email campaigns. Any questions? All right, well then we will just move along. One thing that I always encourage is to measure the results of your efforts for Small Business Saturday, and not just for Small Business Saturday, but for any marketing campaign. Collecting those email addresses as people purchase or come in, or if they want to learn more about what you have to offer, sending them a post Small Business Saturday survey or a follow-up email, it can really identify how people heard about you. What works, what doesn't? Where are you getting the most traction? Is it live videos on Facebook? Is it word of mouth through friends? Is it constant contact? Being able to make those results measurable will help you in the years to come. Now, with something like Small Business Saturday that comes once a year, the trends are going to change within the 11 months in between. But you can get a pretty good idea by measuring this year's results and this year's activity and traction, where you get the best bang for your buck for next year. And something to consider is where your shoppers are. Are your shoppers of the age that they are on TikTok? Are your shoppers of the age or of the shopping habits that they are on Instagram? Where are they hanging out? Because it doesn't do you any good as a business owner to promote and even pay for promotion in a application or in an environment where your customers are not hanging out. Okay, so think about that. All right, we are towards the end of the presentation. We whipped right through everything. I want to encourage you to share questions, to ask whatever questions you have. There's not a whole lot of people on the group, and so it is really a good time to brainstorm if you need, and we have the time to do that. What I want to do real quick in the name of brainstorming, if you will, is launch one more poll about ideas that you have for your business for Small Business Saturday. This is in the form of a word cloud. So type in whatever you'd like. And, really the point of this is to share your ideas with the other 11 people who are on here. Maybe somebody has an idea that you've never thought of that would work in your own small business. All right, face painting. That was a big one for our friends across the street. There's always a line for face painting, no matter where you go. I'm going to let that run for a while. And what I want to highlight, and that something that gets, I think, forgotten in our small business world, is that there is room for you to compete against big box shopping. There is room for you to compete against large retailers, okay? You have to find where you stand out compared to those large retailers. And what we see most often is that it's the one-on-one interaction, it's the care, it is the customer service, it is the whole ambiance experience of shopping at a small business versus shopping at I'm going to call them the big box business, okay? So while you may not be able to compete, say, in price, because as a small business, we're not able to get the quantity that the big boxes can get in order to reduce that price, there are areas where you can absolutely compete head and shoulders above a big box business. And being able to pinpoint what that is for your individual business is what is going to make this event more successful for you. All right, so we have face painting, we have a little daycare center. That is a great idea. So maybe a designated area where there is a little activity, there are toys, kind of a romper room, if you will, where people can drop their kids right there and step away and see what you have for sale, or to walk through your store and knowing that their kids are playing there. They're reading books or coloring. We had a business, it's been a couple years, they had a little Tykes picnic table with nothing but colors and printouts on there for kids to sit and color while mom and dad shopped. Great idea. Selfie station, yes. Face painting treat bags, that's a great one. Collaboration, I'm glad somebody said that because I cannot stress enough the importance of collaboration with an event like this. Please, please, please reach out to your small business friends. I'm going to call them your frenemies that you like to compete with, but you are friends. Reach out to them. Come up with a super unique experience to drive people from one location to the other and make this an event. Okay. Any other ideas? Any questions? Let's see, I see something in the chat here. Okay, you're new to Small Business Saturday. Share more on a press release for this event. Would it be a good idea to engage with media? Yeah, I mean, that is definitely an option. Depending on your community, a press release might be good. It depends on where your customers are. Are they reading the local paper? Where's the press release going out to? That's my question to you is, are your shoppers, are your potential shoppers going to be reached by a press release? But that is a great idea to engage with the media. And, you know, something you could do going back to that, that idea of collaboration is get 2 or 3 of you, get 2 or 3 women-owned businesses in your case to talk about what it is that y'all are doing and why it's important and the benefits of shopping with you. And you can do that through the media as well. There were events, again, in our community where the radio station showed up. So it can be a whole community event. You just have to make it a whole community event. And that takes time and it takes buy-in and effort. But it's not too late to do that. I don't want you to think that just because Small Business Saturday is a month away, it doesn't mean that you're totally behind the 8 ball here. There is still time to collaborate. There is still time to design and build an event that is a whole lot of fun. The next slides in the presentation, these are your QR codes. These go directly to Amex, to whatever particular site I have listed there, so you can see what's available to you. The links were super long, so I thought this might be an easier way to get them across. Again, they have some FAQs that are really helpful, but please, please, please go look at all of the promotional items that they have designed specifically for you to help you promote this day. Vendors outside, yes, that is a great one. Given that it's a great day outside, which I am pretty sure we've not had a Small Business Saturday that has been rainy and nasty, knock on wood. But that is a great thing. Get people outside walking. That's a great idea. All right. Anything else, y'all? Good conversation. Any other questions before we end for the day? I'm going to yield you about 30 minutes of your time back today. But this slide talks about where you can find us. If you're familiar with the Victoria area, we're located in the Old Town Plaza Mall. We're very easy to find. We are active on Facebook. You can find all of our events there. But real quick, I would like to jump back to a slide that Jean highlighted earlier about some upcoming event opportunities that we have coming down the pipeline for you. Again, all super exciting for our center to host. Let's see, we have a question. Any ideas for business coaches? Oh, goodness. If you are not typically open on a Saturday, and you know, I assume that by business coach, you mean along the lines of a consultant. An idea would be to partner with a retail business, especially if they're going to have vendors outside, like Bridget suggested. Have a booth. You can, depending on where you are located, you could invite people into your business location to see what it is that you do. But there has to be some driver there. And with what Small Business Saturday is, it's going to be more revolving around retail. And so to partner with a retail business in the way of maybe a scavenger hunt or vendor opportunities is where you're going to get the most exposure, I feel like. Good question. Very unique question. Anything else? All right. Well, I'm going to leave you with this. Partner, partner, partner. Find like businesses, find complementary businesses, find your friends, partner with these businesses, partner with your other small business community members to make this day bigger than what you would just alone as your one business self. Okay. Like I said, we're going to send you the slides out. That will either be today or tomorrow. It'll be from Jean. And I believe, Jean, are you sending a survey as well?
You're right, Lindsay. There'll be a link in the email, and we ask everybody, let us know how we did. It's only 5 questions, takes less than 1 minute, less than 60 seconds to complete. But that's important so that we know that our information has been very helpful to our attendees. And I love all the ideas everyone has come up with today.
Yes, very good. And I'm looking back at this. Let's see. I want to look back at this poll again. Okay, drink station. That was a good one. I've not had drink station before. That's a great idea, especially considering that a lot of times for Black Friday to Cyber Monday, we're wearing shorts in Texas. So that's a great idea. All right, good stuff, y'all. Oh, a raffle. I like raffles. And that's a low cost thing. Excellent, good ideas. Okay, well, please feel free to reach out to our center. We are always available to you as small business owners or managers. Our email address is on the slide to the left. And with that, we will go ahead and close out today's event. So look out for the slides coming to you in your email box. Thank you all and have a great day.
Bye-bye.